Guys, thanks for coming out and covering us and sticking around. Really happy for our team, for the coaches, the players, everybody. Hats off to Ohio U. Played a heck of a ball game. Parker Navarro is certainly a special athlete. We knew that coming in, and he didn't disappoint. Big hats off to our student section. I thought that was awesome. It was packed. They came early. They stayed late. They impacted the game. They truly impacted the game. They had a big part in that block punt because they caused the illegal procedure, which backed them up 5 more yards and made me feel more comfortable calling a punt block. And then sure enough, they blocked a punt for a touchdown. So when your student section can do that, that's important. And we're going to need those guys in 8 days. So I'm gonna ask them to come on back and do exactly what they did this week because that was excellent. I'll let you know, rather than me go on, why don't I just try to answer questions you have. And certainly I'm excited to be 1-0. It's hard to win. Plenty of things we have to get better at, but I like doing it from the win column. So I'll open up for questions.
Just on that final drive, what factored into the decision to go forward on 4th and 7 that ended up sealing the game?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the situation, you know if you complete it, the game's over. I have a lot of faith in our quarterback. He's a winner. And I thought Kurt Chiraka made a magnificent call. And they did something that they really don't do. I mean, they loaded it up and they brought everybody. And I kind of thought they would do that, and so did Kirk. And Ethan stood in there knowing that he was going to get hit. And he drilled it. I mean, he dimed it. And all night I thought he was very sharp. I think somebody told me we were 5 for 5 on 4th down conversions, which probably means we have to get better on 3rd down conversions. But I'll tell you what, to be able to do that calmly and execute the way he did, I think his growth and development keeps showing through. So sure, I'm glad we have him. He's do a good job.
Are you more encouraged about what you saw from your offense or concerned about what you saw from your defense?
I think what we're going to – first of all, I'm very, very encouraged about our offense. The running backs, the wide receivers, the tight ends, and multiple. There's some depth there. And then the offensive line. I mean, they did a good job tonight. Defensively, I feel like, as I'm watching the game, I'm like, okay, we got to do more of this. We got to get better at this. We had 6 guys that had never start the game. And then we brought in guys that had played. So – that played not very much either. So, you know what, I knew we were, I've told you guys all along, I haven't tried to hide it. It's a work in progress, and it will be all year long. We'll get better and better. A lot of guys that haven't played together either, right? We had a lot of guys out there that, we've been here for 7-8 months. So I'm encouraged that we have plenty of room for development, and we're going to have to do that, right? Fundamentally, that's how you do it. You don't go create new defenses. You create better fundamentals that will, when they execute those fundamentals and we get better and better and better, then the calls will work better and better. We had, I really think this kid is special as far as getting out of trouble. He's not just quick, he's fast. There's a difference, right? When a guy's quick, he can get out of the way, but he can't run away from you. This guy had the speed to run away from some fast. Kyle Sanders is a fast player. And there was one time he closed the angle and ran through it. So, but we're going to see plenty of good football players in the Big Ten. So, we have a lot of work to do. I think our coaches, our players, everybody knows that. But I do know this, that they're hungry to do it, and we'll get better.
Greg, you used 3 different running backs tonight. How was that balancing it and distributing the carries, and has that been the plan all along?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Shaw, I think, does a great job with those running backs. And I've said it in the preseason that running back inherently is a selfish position, right? Because there's only one ball, and only one guy can carry it. Yet Coach Shaw continues to do a great job of creating a real brotherhood in that room, and they pull for each other. And then there's still Sam Brown there too. So I'm excited about the development of our running back room. We had CJ, who was new, Antoine, right, and then Benji. I mean, you're talking about guys that have put in their time, worked really hard, and I'm anxious to see them continue to grow as we move forward.
Greg, what do you think surviving an opening night like this does for your team moving forward?
Yeah, I think, I've been a part of, I'm doing this for a while now, so I've been a part of some teams that had great years that won games by 1 point that they shouldn't have even been close, right? And then they go on. And I've also been part of teams when you go blow people out and then you're not very good. So one game is one game. As I told the team, we've worked really hard all training camp. Celebrate, and then we got to get back to work. We're going to get back to work tomorrow. And I'm excited to get in here with the players and watch the tape. I'm excited to watch the tape tonight. I can't wait to see. All right, I'm gonna pull probably 20 plays of defense that if we just do this step better or that eye's better, those are dead plays. Some of them aren't. Parker Navarro, he's fast and he's good and he broke contain. And but we had opportunities for sacks. I was really hoping we'd get sacks, but I also knew it was going to be a challenge to get them down. Not a lot of people get them down. So we have to get better at that because we'll see some mobile quarterbacks on our schedule.
Coach, can you talk about your special teams? Obviously, you alluded to earlier with the punt block, but also your punt defense was really good. You had your gunners get down there quickly, make some big tackles that set them back. Just talk about your special teams overall tonight.
Yeah, I think it starts with the two guys who run it. Eddie Allen and Jake Barr did a great job. I mean, they're excellent coaches, and then they have some assistants that do a great job. I mean, it's really an operation. Special teams is important at Rutgers, and every player in the room knows it. And you see a lot of starters out there because for our formula to win football games, I've told them all along, we need to win in the special teams area. Now, every coach I've ever been around that I worked for says we got to win the special teams battle, and I've always said, well, why should we win it? More than the other team, just like offense and defense. One of the things that I tell our team is the amount of time we spend on it, we have to. And when we don't, it's discouraging, right? And I was really excited for Jay Patel, too, right? Like specialists, as coaches, we look at specialists and special teams sometimes separately. But Jay Patel broke a Rutgers record for consecutive field goals tonight, which I didn't know. They told me that. So, when you have guys that are doing their job the right way and you start plugging pieces in, we had a lot of guys on special teams that hadn't played. So I'm excited about that. That's going to have to be a big part of our repertoire if we're going to be able to win games.
It's sometimes easy to forget that Antoine Raymond's supposed to be a freshman. But what did you see from him tonight? His running, but also some of the nuances and pass block.
Yeah, you're right, and that's one of those situations, right, where he reclassified when his school, closed up, and boy, are we grateful we have him here because he's not only a really good player but a great young man. So I think the things that you see is the things that they're learning, how to be a little bit more patient, all three of them really, how to be more patient, how to wait on some runs, and then the protection part. I think all of them put their face in there, and that's hard to do, right, because some of those guys are coming with running starts. That's not an easy thing. And I know Ethan was grateful for the protection.
John over here from Undrafted US. This offseason I had the opportunity to speak with Deron Harmon, and he kind of spoke about last season, how you guys left some games on the table, kind of beating yourselves. Tonight it seems like you guys limited the turnovers and penalties a bit. Was this a step in the right direction? This is kind of, what represents Rutgers football.
Yes and no. We've played really good defense around here, and we need to get better at that. So I wouldn't say that's indicative of Rutgers football, but complementary football, kind of bailing each other out. And Duran's right. Duran's a football guy, and he understands. But, we're 18-2 since we've been back in this second run when we don't turn the ball over. So it's, I always talk to the offense. It's not that complicated, right? Don't turn the ball over. You have a very good chance of winning the game. So the ball is the program around here, and we're very, very clear about that. I didn't like the fact that we didn't get any takeaways. I thought there were opportunities to get takeaways tonight, and we didn't take advantage of them. So that's one of those fundamentals, and I wish I could tell you, we didn't work on it that much, so it'll get better, but we spent a lot of time on it, so that's why it's frustrating. But you know what? Sometimes right before that tree falls, you got to swing the axe one more time, and we're going to keep swinging it, and we'll get there. We'll take the ball away.
Greg, can you remember a time when you went for it five times on fourth down of the game, first part, and second part, is that indicative of the way you think you'll play this year with the confidence you have in this offense?
Every game, I always tell you guys, every game takes on a life of its own. And, yes, I do have confidence in our offense and in our quarterback. But games, you kind of get, you do it long enough, you get a feel. Games take on a feel. And I just felt like we needed to be more aggressive than normal tonight and play to our strengths. And, 4th and 7, that's really That's counting on your strengths.
This man took my question. Can you remember going 4 or 5 times in a game?
No, I don't. And if they were, it was, 4th and 1s, and we just happened to come up with that. Some of those tonight weren't that. So, but you know what? You didn't see anything in our guys that, was any different than any other down, other than the crowd noise and things. I think they stayed very much, on the spot.
The linebacker depth was certainly tested tonight, down a couple guys on the injury report. It seemed like Moses Walker and Dariel Jabomi were out there for nearly every snap. What did you see from them tonight as two of the main returning starters on the defense?
Yeah, they did. They played almost every play, if not every play. I don't remember looking up and seeing anybody else out there. So that's yeoman's work. That's a hard team to be. Some games you play in a phone booth. This game was played from sideline to sideline, and those linebackers were running all night. So to be able to, it's a testament to their conditioning and, their mental toughness that they were able to play well, I thought. I thought Moses had a good game, and Chapa, I thought, did a good job as well. So we'll see. When you watch the tape, there'll be things that drive me crazy. But, again, we were so close a couple of times to getting Parker down. That changes the whole complexion of the game. But that's football, right? Those inches, so many times the difference between success and failure is that much. So, but it's a good place to start, and we'll be teaching from the winning column tomorrow, which is much better than the other side. So, appreciate you covering us and staying here tonight. And again, to those students, can't thank them enough. Can't wait to see them out there next week. Appreciate you guys.